Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this is not David. So David's still in the Northern California, on the Northern California coast with Michelle enjoying some R&R. So you got me. And he's not there to give me side eye and tell me how long it's taking me to shuffle the cards, or could you just get on with the damn story? So I will. Today, I want to talk about the Department of Education and why Trump, like Pink Floyd in 1979, feels that we don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. So, if you haven't heard, our dear leader wants to abolish the Department of Education because, why not? So I took some notes here. In theory, he wants to end some programs, and then other programs within the Department of Education, he would sort of merge them and incorporate them into different parts of the government. So let's have a little history lesson. So in 1979, the Department of Education was established, and it oversees funding for public schools. It administers student loans. It runs programs that help low-income students. It administers Pell Grants, helping low-income students attend university. It funds programs to support students with disabilities and students living in poverty. It enforces civil rights laws designed to prevent race and sex-based discrimination in federally funded schools. Some of the falsehoods that Trump is spreading about the Department of Education. There's a misconception that the Department of Education operates U.S. schools and sets the curricula. That's not true. Most school systems get their funding from the state or their local school districts. They also set the curricula. That's why you have a superintendent of schools. Trump and his MAGA followers seem to feel that the Department of Education is indoctrinating young people with inappropriate racial, sexual, and most importantly, political material. In other words, they have the nerve to teach them stuff that Trump doesn't believe in or Trump thinks is wrong. So if Trump thinks it's wrong, how could it possibly be right? Because he has common sense. He's got a long uphill battle on that one. I mean, it's a scary headline for sure. I saw the headline as just like, what the hell is he doing now? Well, it turns out that in order for him to do this, he's gonna set out an executive order, more than likely, ordering the head of the Department of Education, and he's trying to get Linda McMahon put into that role. And if you've ever watched WWE, you know who Vince McMahon is. I believe it's his sister. He wants to get her in the role, and he's going to basically put an executive order out there saying, come up with a plan for how you're going to dismantle the Department of Education. So it's kind of scary. Oh, they're going to dismantle it. No, they're not. They're just not. It would take a majority of the House of Representatives, and they probably don't have that. The last time they tried to push this through, I think they attached it with a spending bill, and the Democrats shot it down, and they had 60 Republicans join in with them. If he can make it out of the House of Representatives, then the way this agency is set up, I suppose how it was established, they need a supermajority of the Senate, not just a simple majority. So that means they need to have 60 senators, which means they have to have all 53 Republicans, and they have to get 7 Democrats to join in. So that's a pretty uphill battle. So for entertainment purposes only, let's see what he's really trying to do here. We'll just ask the cards, what's Trump's endgame here? What's he really trying to do here? And then we'll throw some cards and see, will he be successful? Because anything can happen. Okay, so will he be successful? Okay. Why? Okay, so not why will he be successful, but why is he doing it? Okay, what's his end game here? The foundation is the Empress. It's, I'm going to make America great again. I'm going to make everything abundant and just so much wonderful wealth and the fruits of your harvest, if you will, right? Everything's going to be great. The challenge is the Two of Cups. It's about agreements, making connections. This could be the House and Senate. In the past, the House has shut this thing down. The House and Senators, the House of Representatives and the Senators, they know that this is a political poison pill. And if you are in any kind of competitive district, especially in the House, this is not something you're going to support. The folks that are going to support this are like the Marjorie Taylor Greenes and the Lauren Boeberts, who are in these heavily red districts, right? Underneath is the Four of Wands. It's just more winning. That's all Trump's trying to do, is he's trying to get his little victories, stay in the spotlight, look at all the wonderful things I'm doing. See if we can get a little more information on what he's getting going after here. In the past, we have the Eight of Swords. It's Trump's elected. We don't see a good path to getting him out of there. So he's going to just do everything by executive order. This could also be that they've tried in the past to get rid of the Department of Education, and there's no clear way to get rid of it. Current energy is the Knight of Cups. So maybe Trump's going to go out there and try and make an offer. This kind of struck me earlier today because I was, both Mexico and Canada were able to get the tariffs delayed. And the way they were able to do that was simply commit to a stronger border presence. For Mexico, they were putting 10,000 National Guardsmen on the border. And then to help sort of blunt the trafficking of fentanyl. And Canada was also going to increase border security to, I guess, prevent fentanyl from coming in from Canada, because that's a thing. The one thing that was interesting was what Trump didn't say in his little tweet that the president of Mexico did say was the U.S. committed to reducing the amount of high-powered weapons that are going across the border, being trafficked across the border to Mexico. So, Trump made it sound like Mexico did all the bending, but no, they had an agreement, and good for Mexico, because obviously those weapons are causing them problems, and they were able to leverage that. That's how you get a win-win. Trump doesn't believe in win-wins; he just believes in winning. So why would you advertise someone else's winning? Because I guess he thinks it makes them look weak. But I digress. The Knight of Cups, they were able to make an agreement, offer something of value and come to an agreement to delay the tariffs. This could be the same play here, where he is trying to scare everyone in order to gain concessions. And that's what struck me earlier today when I was doing that. I'm glad that card came up. Overarching energy is the Three of Wands. Just looking out in the future and waiting for your ship to come in, waiting for all those wonderful goodies coming in. This is Trump trying to deliver on campaign promises that he just simply can't deliver on. There's no way you're going to get 6 Democratic senators to back this. It's just not going to happen. Lesson to be learned is judgment. You got to. It's time to stand up and show who what your true colors are. The horn of truth is being blown. Are you going to stand up and are you going to answer the call? This could be, in other words, if Trump's trying to make a deal, he's just blowing the horn to see how much can I get from you folks too. Outcome: the big happy family, 10 of Cups. From that, I'm thinking that it's kind of a dual thing. The Department of Education is going to be just fine, but what is he going to get out of this? He's getting something out of this. He feels that if he does this scary tactic, like, oh my God, there's no way out of this, and then he comes in and makes an offer, It will help strengthen his position. It will show people, basically get people to stand up and give me stuff. And then everyone will be happy and celebrate what a clever man he is. So I don't know what he's hoping to extract out of the Department of Education, but he's doing it for something other than getting rid of the Department of Education. But let's go ahead and throw cards on that just to see how the Department of Education is looking after all this is said and done. Okay. And that should do it for the shuffling there. Okay, so will he be successful in abolishing the Department of Education? Okay, foundation of the reading, Queen of Swords. I get from this is like, excuse me, this, you can't get rid of this through an executive order. Congress needs to approve this, not you. The cross is the sun, shining the light of truth and the light of day, and the truth shall set you free. In other words, you don't have the ability to do this, and it's this information, it's not secret, but a lot of people don't understand it, and this is going to be information that comes out about what does the Department of Education really do, and what do you really need to get rid of it. And that's going to be the challenge. You're just not going to get that information. You're just not going to get the supermajority of votes. Underneath it all, the Nine of Cups, hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. So Trump isn't trying to get rid of the Department of Education. He's trying to scare us in order to get concessions from people. That's his underlying motivation. That's the motivation we're not seeing. Will he be successful? In the past, Ace of Pentacles. What would the Ace of Pentacles be in this case? The Ace of Pentacles could be, what the wonderful things that the Department of Education does, such as giving grants, providing money or support to people who are poor, or people who are being discriminated against either by gender or by race. The Department of Education provides a lot of value. Current energy, Wheel of Fortune, I guess anything can happen with it. Could be good, could be bad. Overarching energy, Page of Cups. It's just Trump's spewing nonsense about the Department of Education and what they do. They don't set curricula. He's just playing to his base, to the fears of the base, because, oh my God, they're teaching critical race theory. Oh no, we can't have that. We can't let little Johnny in second grade get exposed to critical race theory. Yeah, they don't teach it in elementary school. For those of you who watched our video today, you would know that. It's critical race theory is basically taught at the college level. It's mostly done at the upper division level. And it's looking at race theory in a critical way. In other words, they're looking at institutionalized racism and how it got there, and how do we address this so that we can make things equitable for people. Lesson to be learned, Page of Swords. Trump's just out there, he's swinging his swords. He's trying to be creative and just attacking anything in the government that he thinks he can save money, cut costs, cut staff, save money, and then show off for his MAGA base. Outcome is the 8, is the strength card. Basically, the system is too strong. The Department of Education does too much for too many people, and they're just going to persevere. They're not going to go under. He's not going to be successful. They're too strong for him. But he is going to try and extract some sort of concessions. I don't know if it's budget cuts. I don't know if it's trying to reduce the number of people in it. He's after something that's not the Department of Education. He knows he's got a snowball's chance in hell of getting it, and the cards just basically said, no, you're not getting it. So, we'll see how that goes. All right. So don't worry about that. All right. Stand by. Okay, sorry, I wanted to do just a little bit more on this, but I'm going to change gears. One other thing that came out of Trump's mouth today is he wants to try and establish a sovereign wealth fund. And the long and short of it is a sovereign wealth fund is, for lack of a better term, it's like a petty cash fund, if you will, for the government, where it's basically they can set aside a pool of money to invest in different things that that the government wants to purchase. There's a lot of countries that have them. What typically, like for example, what country had it? One of the countries had their sovereign wealth fund, and they bought Harrods with it. I forget which country it was. I'll look it up. But it's, was it Norway? Stand by. Qatar had a wealth fund, and they purchased Harrods in 2010 with it. So a sovereign wealth fund, Saudi Arabia has like a $925 billion wealth fund. And of course, Trump looks at that and is like, I want that too, because then I can buy Greenland and I can buy the Panama Canal back. It's he wants to, basically set aside taxpayer money so that he can buy shit. What could possibly go wrong with that, right? The problem is that sovereign wealth funds are more suited for countries that don't have a lot of debt or any debt. Guess what? We've got like $35 trillion of debt. If he wants to set $1 trillion aside for a sovereign wealth fund, how about this? How about paying down the debt with it? I mean, what is it? What do you want, Trump? On one hand, you're saying that you want to pay down the government's debt, right? On the other hand, you want to cut government, size of government, yada, yada, yada. You want to have tax breaks for your rich friends. But then at the same time, you want to set aside a little GoFundMe for whatever projects you want to spend money on. Make up your mind what you want to do, you moron. Sorry, that wasn't very balanced, was it? But it is how I feel. Okay, so just really quick, I'll do a little four-parter because I'm not too scared of the sovereign wealth fund. Will Trump have any success trying to establish a sovereign wealth fund? No. One card reading, no. The towers, the foundation, it's an idea that's just built on a bad foundation. When you have $35 trillion in debt, you're not going to have a $1 trillion fund just so you can go on a spending spree. You got choices, make a choice on what you want to do because you're sending mixed messages. You can try and move forward with this, but you're not going to get very far. It's not just. And people are going to push back on it. And underneath it, you've got the Two of Pentacles. He's just doing a balancing act. It's another one of those Trump thought bubbles that he throws up there, just trying to see if it'll gain any kind of traction. It's kind of like when he says he wants to run for a third term. Never going to happen. They need to amend the Constitution for that. They would need 2/3 of Congress to approve it, and then 38 states, I think 75% of the states, and they don't have it. There's no way it's going to happen. And the legislation that went forward that was proposed basically would prevent, for example, President Obama from running again, because it has to be you had split terms, right? So it's just you couldn't have served 2 consecutive terms. The only way you could qualify is if you had a split term. Yeah, right. Okay, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to be woken every night at midnight Pacific time with a new video. Leave a comment. I read them all and I reply to as many as I can. And today we're going to give you a secret card. Today's secret card is the Six of Cups. This is exactly what Trump wants to do. Is he wants to go back in time. He's when we were all nostalgic in the good old days. But you know what? The good old days weren't always so good. He wants to take us back to the 50s. If it's the 1950s, oh great. So now we've got, all the race problems that we had, women who couldn't get credit, for example, polio, all these diseases that were running around, the Cold War, McCarthyism. Yeah, 1950s were a great time. How about the 1850s? If you want to go back even further, hey, those women, why should they have the right to vote? Slavery wasn't such a bad idea. It was cheap labor. And now that we've got rid of all the immigrants, we're going to need someone to pick all the crops in the field, right? Kamala had such a good message. We're not going back. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.